Green Lantern green now.
Green Lantern green now? That's what you said.
Yes,
Green Lantern green now.
Yes,
Here we are. We're back for the second bracket of the mixed martial arts tournament, 64-man tournament. There's no women in this, so.
Yeah, no.
I kind of did one of these before on the Friday morning cage fight show I had for the Sports Town Chicago. It was my idea. It was like a smaller version of it, though, and we had Cyborg in it, so we called it like a man-woman tournament.
Yeah, you know, you had Cyborg and...
But it was just mixed martial arts, so it wasn't like this. So it wasn't nearly the landscape that we're doing.
Oh, yeah,
so let's get into
crazy.
it, man. Let's do this. Let's introduce ourselves. I'm Mike Straus, aka Straus21.
I'm Taje Mahal. What's up?
We are the guys from the Did You See That Shit Mixed Martial Arts podcast.
The fastest growing podcast out there.
Yeah, one of them. We just uploaded episode 16 yesterday. It's doing very well. Kurt Hollabaugh, Jason the Kid Knight, and Vernon Gertz. He stepped in last minute for the Bellator 197 main event coming up here. That's going to be an exciting fight against Michael Chandler.
Yep.
So, yeah, let's get to the second bracket here, guys. I know that you can't see it, but we'll put it in the show notes like we did with the first one here.
Correct.
Let's get right in, man. George St. Pierre, Ken Shamrock.
I'm going George St. Pierre.
Why?
Like, it's super easy.
Why?
George St. Pierre is an all-around mixed martial artist. Ken Shamrock...
Isn't?
No. His striking was never that good, I think.
That's true.
GSP
So how does this... Okay, you know how I like to do it. I like to kind of envision the fight. How does this go?
I'm going with George Rush St. Pierre style, where he knew how to wrestle, but he was still finishing people.
Okay.
I would say just after the
So
Matt
how
Sarah
does, so,
fight.
so how
I
does
feel
this
like
fight
he would.
look?
I feel like
beats
he
him
would.
up on the feet with the jab.
Oh yeah, with the jab, he's gonna start kicking him.
Until
kicking him.
Shamrock shoots in for a desperate takedown. George capitalizes with the scramble, and it probably ends up submitting him. That's how I see it going.
Yeah, I
I
can see
go
it.
George. Yeah.
I would actually say he's gonna knock him out on the feet,
Yeah, I
but
go
either way, I
George.
think he wins it any way he wants to win.
Ultimately, George St. Pierre is a far better mixed martial artist than Ken Shamrock.
Oh yeah, of course.
He just has way more opportunities, way more ways to win the fight, and that's the way I see it. The way I see it going is him beating Shamrock up with a jab. Shamrock eventually will try to take down. He'll probably submit him. So yeah. That was pretty easy. How about Jacare versus Floyd Mayweather? This is a very talking about like two ends of the spectrum here, right?
Now, I'm gonna go with Jacare over Floyd for the main reason of since now we're factoring size into this.
Well, you have to. How could you not factor size into
I
it?
know, but I'm just saying.
If you set on a midget, you're gonna hurt him, right? You can't take size out of it.
Yeah, so Jacare is much bigger than Floyd, and I just don't see Floyd hurting him enough to keep him away and not just bear hugging him down and choking him like an anaconda, man. It's gonna be pretty game set match. There you go.
Yeah, it's a rough one because I think Floyd Mayweather, if he had, this was all random, right?
Yeah.
This was all random. We didn't pick these brackets. So if he would have had a better selection here, he probably could have won a fight or two.
Yeah.
But Jacare, bad skill set for him because he's a big guy. He's a 185er, but in all reality, he's probably more like 225 pounds.
Floyd walks around at 150.
Talking about a solid, I mean, he's not a sloppy 225 Jacare.
Oh,
he's in shape. He's a world champion jiu-jitsu guy. That's just a bad matchup for Floyd. So eventually, I mean, will Jacare eat some shots? Yeah, he would.
Yeah.
But Floyd, I don't think packs enough to really KO Jacare. And you're right. I think he would smother him just too much for him, man. So far, it's been pretty easy. How about this one? I think this is where it gets kind of tricky, though.
Yeah.
Alexander Gustafsson versus one of the guys who I think was the best, in the conversation for best boxer of all time, Rocky Marciano.
I'm going with Rocky.
Whoa, why?
Why? All right, so I don't see Alexander Gustafsson taking it to the ground. He's not into that.
No, I don't see him.
I see him just wanting to stand up with him. And Rocky was notoriously known for taking punishment.
And coming back.
And he's undefeated. I think he could weather the storm enough to get inside. And
he's the only undefeated heavyweight champion to ever retire. But I guess there's some fishy marks on his record, supposedly. But
so was Deontay Wilder's.
This is true.
Let's be honest.
That's a good point.
But I honestly think he could weather the storm enough to get inside, get close to Alexander Gustafsson, and I think he would win in the clinch. I think he would be able to knock him out. That's how I can see it going. Obviously, I'm most likely wrong, but I'm going with Rocky.
Gustafson, where he has the big advantage here is reach, right? He's a very big guy. Rocky was a pretty undersized heavyweight, if we're being fair.
Yeah.
So, from that point, I think Gustafson could have a slight advantage. I don't think Gustafson is a better boxer than Marciano, but I don't think the gap is that big as you would expect between a professional boxer and a fighter. But I do think Rocky is probably a better boxer. I think you're right. I think he can weather the storm of Gus. This is similar, I think, in the Floyd Mayweather fight in opposite fashion. I think that if Rocky would have fought a more jiu-jitsu heavy guy, say Jacare,
Yeah.
I think Jacare probably could have ran through Rocky. But seeing as how Gustafsson is more of a stand-up guy, that plays into Rocky. And I think you're right, man. I think Rocky Marciano would probably get the better of Gus. So I'm gonna go Rocky with you.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
How about John Jones, Royce Gracie?
John Jones, I'm not even...
I mean, we shouldn't even spend time. I mean,
honestly, he would train less for this fight than he did for the Alexander Gustafsson fight.
He would do more cocaine than he did into the...
He's gonna show up, do a bump of coke, go out there, whoop his butt, and walk back home.
He's gonna always, hold on a second, pull out a little fucking bump. I don't know. It's kind of disrespectful to Royce to talk like that, I guess. I mean, in all reality, John's is too much for him, right?
He's way too much for him. Like... No,
so
this isn't even. That's fun.
How about Rory Macdonald, Anthony Joshua?
Roy. I'm not going against Roy because I'm scared of Roy.
You're not scared of Anthony Joshua?
Not as much as I am of Roy. You see Roy Macdonald. I think he's gonna beat him up.
Really?
He's gonna take him down. He's not going to entertain standing up with Anthony Joshua. I know Anthony Joshua got a $500 million offer from the UFC. But that's really just to show that Anthony Joshua can get pieced up in MMA too.
But going away from our little tournament here, the reason people are kind of misunderstanding that, but the real, and I have I had a clarification from someone, but the way that this works with the Anthony Joshua offer is, Dana White offered Anthony Joshua a $500 million deal, but it's not the fight in the UFC. It's for Zuffa Boxing.
Wait. Oh, I heard they were doing
It's for Zuffa Boxing.
Oh.
So, yeah.
So now he's even getting pieced up even more by Roy Macdonald.
This is a tough one for me, going back to the tournament here, because Roy Macdonald he's one of the 10 best probably pound for pound guys doing it, right? In mixed martial arts. Anthony Joshua is one of the best heavyweight fighters maybe ever, but definitely in the game right now.
Yeah.
You know? And he's got a big size advantage on Rory. Big size advantage, and he's got way better hands than Rory. Rory's got a grappling advantage, but the size difference there, could that give Rory a problem? There's about 40 pounds there of
he trains with some pretty big dudes. I feel that his grappling ability, that won't be an untrained
I'm
grappler.
Joshua. You know why?
Why?
Because the more I think about this, the more I think that 40 pounds, I think Rory is going to have to get close to win that fight, right? And what Rory's going to do when he has to get close is he's going to put himself in KO danger. Because what Joshua has that these other guys haven't up until this point is one-punch KO power. And with no gloves, that 40 pounds of difference, I think Joshua would KO Rory before Rory can bring him to the ground. The more I think about it, the more I just can't go against it, yeah.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to go with this one, too.
Yeah, so I convinced you.
Yeah, dang it.
So we got Joshua there. How about Rampage versus Daniel Cormier?
Put some respect on his name.
You're going to with your dad?
Going with my dad.
His dad's Daniel Cormier.
Yes. My father is Daniel Cormier because I chose
that don't
him.
know.
You can choose your father. I chose him.
Well, I'm definitely not choosing Rampage. As my father will say.
I will not choose him for anything, especially a movie role.
DC,
Rampage, I feel like DC is going to...
he's way better.
He's going to whip him. Like
even in his prime, Rampage.
Yeah, I'm talking Pride, Rampage, slams and all. I do not see him.
Because you're talking prime DC. I mean,
dude,
come on,
heavyweight Grand Prix winner. Yeah. Dude, he flipped Josh Barnett.
That was a very people forget how good DC was at heavyweight.
Oh my
people
God.
are going to be remembered though. People are going to be reminded very quickly when he fucking. I think he's going to beat Stipe. We're going off subject there.
We're going off subject, but
we'll get to that on the podcast.
Hey,
yeah, so we're going
listen
DC
to
there.
Did You See That Shit podcast? Yeah, I'm putting fucking DC there, man.
How about Julio, Cesar, Chavez, Anderson, Silva? This is goofy.
Mexican fans.
You going Chavez?
Please do not be angry at me.
You're going Anderson.
Your guy
Why?
is going to get destroyed. All right, I think.
What did Chavez fight at? For like 150 pounds?
150. He was a middle.
He
was a
very
middleweight.
big.
He was a welterweight or middleweight. I can't quite remember. But Julio Cesar Chavez is one of the greatest boxers of all time. Strong,
he's on the list.
Can hit fast,
sexy.
sexy.
That's what you were saying earlier.
His son isn't that good, but he's great. But Anderson Silva has tools everywhere. He can stand up. He's the type of guy who can knock people out.
Prime Anderson Silva.
Yeah.
Probably.
He has ground game.
So when you think Prime Silva, I don't know what you think, but I think Forrest Griffin. I think him out of the Matrix, like
Vitor Belfort front kick.
Shit,
yeah. That I don't see Julio Cesar Chavez fucking up Anderson Silva at all.
And this is similar, right? Because you have a boxer and a fighter, and like I said with Joshua and Rory, Joshua has that power that he can catch him coming in and KO him, or at least get close to KOing it, right? I don't think Chavez has the power to put Silva to sleep. So I got to go with Anderson here. I got to go Anderson Silva just because he's bigger, he's stronger, and most importantly, when that fight goes to the ground, Chavez is basically defenseless, and Chavez can't knock out Silva, I believe, with one punch.
No.
So, and the last fight in the bracket, we ran through this one, but the last fight in this bracket may be the best, most intriguing one. Frye Muhamad Ali.
I'm not backing off what I say right now. Muhammad Ali will win this fight.
Tell me why.
Muhammad Ali is too fast, too strong, too pretty. He floats like a butterfly. He stings like a bee. He gets to the bed before the lights go off, man. Muhammad Ali is the greatest of all time, and I feel that Frye is not fast enough to get in range to take him to the ground.
Yeah, all that is true. And Frye doesn't sleep with the lights on because he burns candles like a true gangster. But no, I don't know. I don't know what he does. But Frye's got a hell of a mustache. He looks like Tom Selleck.
Oh, I know.
He really does. He is a true original in the sport. Like when I think like Texas dude, I think just Frye, just a man's man. And man, as much as I want to choose him, I just how do you go against
Muhammad Ali? Because I truly believe Muhammad Ali could have been great at any sport he did. He was tall.
He was an athlete.
He was a freak.
He was an athlete. I think he had good hips. You could tell by the way he moves that I think he would have been able. I mean, Frye's only chance in this, and Frye had great hands. He had great rush, great hands, but. You're talking Muhammad Ali, so it's just,
I feel Muhammad Ali was the type of dude who could just move out the way because he fought with his hands relatively low, and then he would use his quickness and his footwork, and I just don't see Frye getting in there, especially long jab dude was like.
I mean, I think Frye would land some shots, but I mean, unless Frye can really take it to the ground and really sink in a choke, it's just. And I don't see it happening against Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad Ali is the greatest.
That's bracket 2. We ran through that one pretty quick.
Yeah, man.
We'll be back in a day or two with 3 and then 4, and then we'll get to the semis and so on.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. Mm-hmm. Now, I really, really want some Chipotle.
Oh, yeah? Wait. You look hungry. Your ribs are starting to show.